Farouk, Ahmed, how you doing?
Good. I'm very, very good. How about yourself?
I'm doing really well, man. I'm doing really well. So, first question I'm going to ask to just set the tone for this. How much did you make in commissions last month?
Oof. About 7.2K
Is that USD, GBP?
USD.
Not
You-
bad. Not bad. And you joined, so that was March. You joined January 5th, right?
Correct. January 5th.
I do remember that to the day. Um, yeah, I mean, what's it been like, man? How does it feel?
To be honest, it kind of just feels normal. It's not like me being arrogant. It's just to I can put it this way. These past like 3 months has felt like a whole year. So it's just kind of felt like a long journey despite it being a short amount of time. So it's just I'm just very, very normal about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel like you've worked hard, so it's deserved kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I guess, what would you say has been, I don't know, the hardest part about getting into this industry, and getting it to where you are now?
Hmm. The hardest part. So obviously there's a skill side of things, right? You
Hmm.
need to obviously master how a sales call works. So
Yeah.
that's one thing. But the other thing is finding a vehicle which allows you to make the money you want to make. So I think the second thing is harder for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming into it brand new,
Yeah.
landing a role can be really tough, especially if you don't know where to start. Um, on that,
Mm.
you, the role you saw the most success in, um, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this to be true, is you managed to land the role from the network of and the community, obviously, that we've built. Is that right?
Correct. Correct.
Amazing. And what is it that you sell to so people can kind of get a better understanding?
It's a mobility fitness offer.
Okay.
So we're selling fitness or mobility fitness coaching to
Hmm.
people in pain or restriction or just who have
Hmm.
suffered injuries over
Yeah.
a period of time.
And do you enjoy it?
I would say it's a love hate relationship at the moment. Um, but why I love it is because I feel like it's making me a better closer. It's making me understand sales on a deeper level. Because
Yeah.
there's no tangible return on investment from selling a fitness based product.
Hmm.
But the reason I sometimes hate it is for that exact reason. Some people you speak to are just very, very stubborn and don't give you that kind of emotion to kind of leverage.
Yeah. That's obviously, yeah, part of the skill
Right.
that's involved. Um, I think I spoke about this. I had a weekly call.
Mm.
Luca, who's also closing, he's been doing really well actually.
Yeah.
On the same offer, he said he's worked many different offers, but this is his favorite one to work for because to be really good at it, you have to fully like not care about the money and purely be there to help them. And this is like almost the easiest one it's been for him to do that. Um,
Mm.
Speaking to the kind of people you guys speak to.
Right.
Um, I guess, what do you feel has been the, I guess, we spoke about the hardest thing, right, which is getting the vehicle.
Mm.
But this is also a very fun journey as well, right? Like, you came from an engineering background.
Mm.
I mean, before we get into like the actual journey, like where were you when we started working together? What were you doing? How much were you making? What was that like?
So literally a couple days before I joined the community, I just come back from a family trip to Morocco. So I
Hmm.
was in a pretty relaxed mood. But I was coming back to the UK having no way of making an income for myself. Because
Mm,
we could probably touch on it later, but I quit my engineering role on the 5th of December. Funny that
mhm.
that's the fifth again, but yeah, I finished up with that role and went on holiday, came back, and pretty much joined Enigma straight away.
Yeah. And so obviously you've seen like crazy transformation so far in really quick time as well. It's not regular to see those results. Like you've gone from, you know, uh, making, like you said, nothing
Mm.
to making just under six figures a year in 3 months.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that is quite something. And I just want to say like kudos to you because your hard work. I remember when you joined, um, I knew you were going to crush it because you had asked me a question.
All right, I remember the question.
Yeah, the question was because I had obviously managed to scale to 10K in 4 months.
Mm,
You asked me, what did you do? And I told you, and you just did it. I think
right.
you went above and beyond. I think you still hold the record for the most amount of role plays done in a single month, um, which was, I think you did it in February, that
Mm,
record, which was like high 70s, which
yeah,
was pretty nuts. Um, it's not even that hard to hit those numbers, but like you did as just because you knew that's what it was going to take to level you up. And I think that's amazing. With that being said, what do you feel like has been like the biggest help in getting you to where you are today that obviously we offer?
I would say firstly, I mean, you guys are responsible for opening my eyes to the world of sales.
Hmm.
Everything that I know now, obviously my skill level is at a higher level, and I wouldn't have even gotten on the journey to increase that level over time had I not been introduced to the game,
Yeah.
you know? And being introduced to the game and being introduced to the various killers in the community and studying how they got to their level,
Hmm.
yeah, that was a fascinating experience as well.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it, man. Um, it's something I think that the best part of what we do is the community aspect of things.
Hmm.
Um, because like for yourself, did you know many people who were like making money online, like whether it would be high ticket sales or not?
I knew one guy, and that's my 19-year-old brother's one of his best friends. He's also 19,
Okay.
and he was making money in some like Airbnb business.
Okay.
But aside from that, nope.
Yeah, it can be it's a one of these things I always speak about. Like it can be a lonely journey at first
Hmm.
because like you're not where you want to be, and all the people in your life aren't where you want to be either. And that's no like discredit to them,
Hmm.
but you're also not where you want to be. You're kind of stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why I say like this network and this community that we've built with all the clients is amazing because it allows you to bridge that gap a lot easier because you know you're not doing it alone.
Hundred
I don't
percent.
know if you agree or not, but
100%. I think I can't remember what video I watched of yours. Maybe it was a YouTube video or it was one of the training sessions. But you said, having an online community is no different to having a in-person community.
mhm,
And when you first said that, I was like, okay. It's one of those things you hear, but you don't really internalize, right? You don't really
yeah,
fully understand it. But like now, being in this game for 3 months, being part of the community, seeing my progress that I have made, like community is probably the biggest aspect about all this thing.
yeah,
You know, it's such a powerful tool.
for sure. It's your environment.
Yeah,
It's the you're the sum of the five people you spend the most time with, and it
exactly.
doesn't matter if it's online or in person. You will still benefit either way. Um, yeah, in February, you definitely. took that to heart and
Yeah.
doing all the role plays with the guys in the community, the guys and girls even. So with where you're at, I guess now,
Mm.
what do you feel like is next for you? Like, what are your goals? What do you want to achieve? Not just because I want to know, but I also, you know, to hold you accountable to that. But I think it's good for you to voice it because I don't think many people are as clear on their goals as they should be.
Yeah, it's a good question, man. So ultimately, my goal for the next few months is to establish myself as a 10 to 15K a month closer. So obviously, naturally, my skill level is going to need to increase over that period of time. Um, but also just how I am as a sales professional.
Hmm.
Doing the activity, required follow ups, referrals, all the things that a lot of people don't really talk about. So I think hopefully a combination of both and getting more acquainted with my offer and learning the different types of avatars that I'm speaking to is, yeah, hopefully that's gonna get me there.
100%. I have no doubt it can. What do you, I guess, what's the biggest lesson you've learned, um, I guess, since getting into this industry?
Hmm. That it's a roller coaster.
Damn right it is.
Bluntly put, man. There are some days where I feel like I can just book a flight to Monaco,
Yeah.
because of just how excited and gassed I am from closing like 4 deals in a day.
Hmm.
But conversely, there are some days where you kind of feel the opposite. You feel really, really low. You know,
Hmm.
your sales process just isn't sticking on the calls that you're having. Maybe you've slipped down a few places on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
So it's just a constant roller coaster, man.
Yeah. That's sales in essence. One thing that I do want to say that I remembered you kind of touched on in our like private channel where we speak, the outputs that you have in this game directly correlate to like you, your headspace, your energy levels,
Mm,
like everything. You really have to be like the best version of yourself to make the most amount of money, which I think is why this space, I love it
mm,
because the amount you make is directly correlated to like the personal growth that you have
hmm
and you're making. Um, and I guess is that something that you've realized as well? Because it's something that I think we briefly touched on.
it's not just me realizing it's just the most prevalent thing in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
The more you know yourself, the more you're aligned with who you are and where you want to get to, and the more centered you are as a person, just the better closer you're going to be. It's just very, very simple.
Yeah.
Because being dealing with the roller coaster that this industry provides, you kind of need to be an oak tree, as my sales director says. You need
Mm-hmm.
to have oak tree energy and be like you need to be this instead of going like that.
Yeah. You need to be like the consistency factor.
It's,
Um, and that's why, like, again, I just love this game because it teaches you so much. Because to get to that level, you have to become something else, and it's the actions that you need to take. And it just turns you into the best version of yourself, in my opinion.
mm,
Um, being someone who has the discipline to do all of this, I think that's a really big part of it as well. Um, because the information, like the what you need to know, and I guess what you need to do, it's all out there. Like we live in the world of information now.
mm,
Everything's there. You just have to find it. But I think it's more about who you need to become
mm,
to really start to see the results. It's not about the what, it's the who.
hundred
And I
percent.
always remind myself about that because I see it time and time again. Like everyone's looking for like what to do, what to do. It's like relax, just look at where you want to be. You say you want to be at 10 to 15K a month. Look at the skills, the actions, the inputs that that version of you is doing, and then just start doing it, man. And you'll attract it into your life through action.
It's very simple when you think about it that way, isn't it?
It is, and I think that can provide so many people with, I guess, of like a peace. But I feel like people look at that and they're like, nah, it's too simple. Like it doesn't have to be complicated. People
Mm,
want it to be complicated, I
yeah.
think, which I think is hilarious.
And I also think when you have a lot of different like plans and ideas for where you want to get to, some people can become overwhelmed, and,
Mm,
anxiety sets in for them as a result of that. And when the anxiety sets in, they don't take any action.
yeah,
They stop.
yeah. That's something that I think a lot of people, I think, struggle with.
Yeah.
It's something that we work on as well, with the clients because, like, like you said, it's a roller coaster. That this industry,
Mm.
every industry is, no matter what you do, um, and it's like becoming the person that can face that and not struggle and be completely fine day in day out
Mm.
with, I guess, yourself on that. What's been almost your favorite part of the journey? We talk about like the hardest part, but like what's been like the favorite part for you that stuck out?
Good question, man. I mean, I just came back from a trip to Dubai, or from Dubai, a few days ago, and
Amazing.
that wasn't a planned trip. You know, my siblings were going. They had planned it. They had booked everything. Um, so I just decided, you know what, let me just hop on the flight, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, being able to do that. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy. How did they react?
They were just like, okay. It wasn't any like crazy reaction, but they were obviously excited that was coming through.
Yeah.
You know,
No, that's funny, bro. Did you close some deals out there?
close a couple, close a couple. Um,
Good.
yeah, could have done a bit better, but close a couple deals.
How did it feel to make money in a different country?
You're my honest answer.
Yeah.
Part of me just wanted to just really enjoy the holiday. You know,
Dude, I get that too.
yeah.
I get that. I think it's also when you're when you're with your family. I think
Mm,
that as well. And that touches into something. It's like you can get time off. I think there's this like you said, the leaderboard, you look at it and
mm,
it's like it puts that pressure and it's like I can't take time off.
mm.
And it seems backwards again, but time off, a few days off to recalibrate, it will actually help you so much.
Right.
So much. Like I recommend, bro, if you haven't done it, like do it.
Mm,
Like go somewhere, book a trip, let yourself have like the time to breathe. Because like you said, it's felt like a year.
yeah.
You've been working hard, man. And you should be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor, and you can enjoy the fruits of your labor as well. And yeah, you should most definitely, because like we said, it will affect your outputs, how you perform on sales calls, how you show up. You got to be the best version of yourself.
100%, man. Burnout is very, very easy to attain in this industry because it's unlike a normal like 9 to 5 or corporate role, right?
Mm,
You know, where you get like 25, 30 days off a year. You can plan your holidays. But in this industry, a lot of people just work 7 days a week,
yeah,
you know, and they're just 7 days a week. Before you know it, 4 months have passed and they haven't really taken a day off.
yeah, yeah. then it's because a lot of the people in this industry are high achievers.
Hmm.
They look at me personally, like I work every day of the week as well. Um, I can't tell you the last time I had like a proper holiday and I turned off.
Yeah.
And me telling you that is probably like a bit hypocritical if I don't do it now, so maybe I will.
We all know it, but we don't do it. We have to
No,
like,
I know, dude, it's bad. It's bad. But it needs to be done. It really does, because I know it will benefit me. I'm like too switched on, bro.
yeah,
I'm like so switched on. I'm always like, what can I do? What more can I do? I'm always looking to add more to my plate.
yeah,
Because for me personally, my ambitions and my goals are like, I know they're there, and I'm like, I think this is a very normal, I guess, human interaction. It's like you see your goals, and you're like, right, I can't get up till I've achieved them,
yeah.
kind of
Exactly,
thing.
exactly.
Um, and that's the thing with high achievers. But you have to be able to take some time off because it will benefit you. Because I've done it quite a few times. I'm
Mm.
probably due one pretty soon. Um, I'm going away in May, so I'll probably just do it then. Um, but like, it's important. So definitely do it, man. Definitely. And you'll surprise yourself. And when you come back, you'll be like, damn, I need more holidays, man.
Just on that, how often would you say you need to take like time off? Like, is it every couple months, every 3 months? Just from your experience closing.
I think you'll feel it.
Mm.
For myself, I did it like every few months. Um, Once you've hit like a consistency of like I'm doing this regularly. So
Mm.
for me, the first break I took was after I hit like 3 consistent months of like making very good money.
Mm.
I was like, okay, like I know I can do this. Like you give yourself that confidence
Right.
that you're like that this isn't a fluke, that like you've done this and you're able to do this. And then I remember I took like I think 4 or 5 days off, and then I got back into it and I was crushing
Mm.
it again. And that fills you with like so much confidence that you're just like a new person that can
Yeah.
just like make money like that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I would say like every 3 to 4 months.
Yeah. Because I'm the same way, man. I don't feel like I deserve or need a holiday unless I have that confidence in my ability and my improvement, you know?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. But you have to back yourself, man. You have to.
Of
Because,
course.
dude, you've done something not many people do.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, results like this aren't like a super regular occurrence in the time that you did it as well.
Mm.
Like, you have that dog in you, dude. Like you actually do, man. You got to back yourself. Um, do it like at the end of this month, man.
Yeah.
Really, like go for it. Allow yourself to realign. Maybe do it when you come to, if you want to come to the Mastermind in May that
For
we're
sure.
running.
Whereabouts are you guys going again? Remind me. Spain, isn't
We're
it?
going to Spain. Yeah,
There it is.
it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. We can talk about it more after if you'd like, but dude, that's going to be a lot of fun. Um, and that could be like a great place for you to switch off as well. Um, but I guess the almost the last thing I want to touch on.
Hmm.
Imagine you're speaking to yourself before you got into this.
Hmm.
What advice would you have for that version of you?
Yeah, this is how I know you're a good closer because of the kind of questions you're asking me. Hmm. Just do everything you did, but just do a little bit more. Because I've made good progress, but
Hmm.
then you can always make the same kind of progress you've made, but at a quicker or in a quicker time frame, you know, because I see myself as achieving 10 to 15K, hopefully in the next few months. But had I put more inputs, I could be on that now,
Mm.
you know. I know you got to be patient and, wait for your time and skill set to improve, but I'm almost 27, man. I'm one of the older guys in the community. I don't have time to waste,
Yeah, of course.
you
I
know.
hear that. I hear that. So your advice to your past self would be like simply what? Do more?
Do more. I'm not talking like crazy hours, like, not sleeping.
Yeah.
But for instance, if I've done like 8 role plays in a day, why not do 10 or 12?
Uh-huh.
Likewise with outreach, just more inputs.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a big one. Um, that is very, very achievable. Like you said, it is, you're not like hanging yourself out to dry. Um, but it's like, if you know what you know now, then obviously, like, you could have got it quicker,
Yeah.
um, from what you're doing. I guess, what would you say to yourself, your past self as well, like the version of you that was doubting getting into this industry in the first place?
I tell that guy to do this, like, in hindsight, I probably would have loved to do this as soon as I finished uni. Like, what was that, 5 years ago?
Mm,
Because a lot of the people in this space, man, they're young. There's some killers making like 50, 60K, and they're like
yeah.
20 years old,
Hmm.
you know? So, yeah, it goes back to doing this at an earlier point in time, I would say.
Yeah. Just like start,
Yeah,
just start is what you'd say.
literally just start. If I could do what I've done now at age 20, I mean, God knows where I'd be at this point.
Yeah. I wouldn't think like that though. That's a negative rabbit hole that I don't
Yeah,
think we should go down. Because yeah, like the what if conversation, like, it's unnecessary. Because you can't change anything about it. All you can do is what you can control now.
maybe
Control
that
the controllables.
maybe that's a weakness of mine because I always think like that.
But dude, you shouldn't, man. You
Yeah,
shouldn't. Because like, what are you gonna do about it?
nothing. You can't really change the past, can you?
Exactly. Unless you're gonna build a time machine. I know you're an engineer, but
Maybe.
like at the end of the day, man, like why let something affect your mood that you have no control over?
All right.
Zero. Just focus on what you can control, which is scaling to that 10 to 15K, and then you go up and up and up and up and up from there. You're more than capable, man. I know you are.
Wise words, man. Appreciate it.
No worries, dude. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and yeah, we're gonna have some fun.
Likewise, Nico. Take it easy, man.